Hello everyone, I'm Yvonne, a children's librarian here at the Manchester City Library, and welcome to Elementary Experiments Summer Reading Program. Here we are going to do experiments and activities aged at elementary grades 1 through 6 with a focus on STEAM, or science, technology, engineering, art, or math. We're actually back to doing most of our programming in person. So please visit our website for dates and registration and to join us for the full elementary engineering experience. Registration is going to help us make sure that we do have supplies for everyone who attends. So please go ahead and do that if you plan to show up. That being said, I thought we could still continue posting some of our crafts and tell you a little bit about our activities right here so we could share with as many people as possible. And we are still going to set out craft kits after our in-person programming on a first come, first served basis. So our summer reading edition also is going to tie into our summer reading theme, which is Oceans of Possibilities this year. If you don't have to be in our summer reading program to attend elementary experiments with us, but we do have summer reading for all ages this year at both of our locations if you want to sign up. Now that we have all of that covered, let's go ahead and get into this week's elementary experiments. Hello everyone, and welcome to Mermaids and Myths. This is our last elementary experiments of this summer, so I hope that you enjoy. Part of our exploration of merfolk and myths is going to be thinking about where would merfolk actually live that we wouldn't have actually found them already. So when thinking about that, we are going to look at a couple of different places that merfolk could live. The first being new islands that we perhaps just haven't found or are very small or like have formed underwater that we have not seen yet on the surface. And that's going to bring us to our very first activity called New Island Shores. Another place that perhaps merfolk could be living that we would not have discovered them yet would be at deep sea hydrothermal vents, which are vents way down deep in the deepest, blackest parts of the ocean that do release jets of water that are heated at the Earth's core and then erupt from the bottom of the seabed. And actually, we have found different types of deep sea life that live around these vents and draw their energy and life sources from that rather than from the light of the sun, which is really cool. And it's possible that merfolk could do something similar. And our final activity is going to be our magical color changing tea. This is a little bit more fun, but it is really interesting to think about what kind of interesting drinks and stuff merfolk would have. This one is, of course, more science than it is magic because the tea, which is made in this case of flowers, not technically tea, is the butterfly pea flowers, which have a very bright blue pigment, which is pH reactive, which means that it will react in the presence of acid. In this case, if you have lemon juice, the acid of the lemon juice or other kind of citrus fruit will make the tea change color from a blue to a pink. And then if you don't want to drink it, you can actually change the color back by adding a base, which is the opposite of the acid on the pH scale. Like a baking soda is a base that you may have in your kitchen that would work. and that will bring the color back because you are changing the pH balance. I know that butterfly pea flowers are somewhat unusual. So if you were able to join us in person, I hope that you really enjoyed experiencing that. And I would also encourage anyone who wants to take part in some of our more unusual experiments to check out the Manchester City website to go ahead and register for our in-person elementary experiments. We are going to be continuing in the fall at a slightly different schedule, which I will explain later after we have finished our craft. And that is going to bring us to our craft. Today we are going to be making some sea creature necklaces. If you are able to, we will have craft kits in the Manchester City Library in the entryway of the children's room for you to pick up while supplies last. If not, please gather what we will put up as the materials that we need, and hopefully we can all have some more fun together before summer is over. All right, so here is our kit. Inside of it, I do have a couple of egg cartons, or egg carton cups anyway. There are, of course, the instructions. We're also going to have a rectangle of a white craft foam. We're going to have a length of cord. We're going to have a couple pieces of straw that have been cut, as well as a few beads. All right, we also have some paint. I've got a selection of paint. You can also use other coloring materials if you would rather. For me, I have a paintbrush. I have a pencil. I also have a pair of scissors. I have some glue, in this case, liquid glue, and I have some tape as well. So first off, what we're going to do is we are going to take one of our egg cartons, and I'm going to sort of look at this and kind of envision how I can put a shell on here. Okay, so this is going to be a shell that we can put on our necklace, possibly a couple shells, depending on what I can cut out. So I'm going to take this wide section here, so this part here, and I'm going to kind of draw a clam shell. So I'm going to start at the top and have part of this top. This is going to be the bottom of the shell. And I'm just going to draw. All right, you guys can see that. Not 100% sure you can. But that is the basic shell there. And I think on the side, I think I can get at least a spiral shell. I'm going to see if I can do that. Okay, so I have the markings on my cup. And of course, you do have two of these, so you don't need to try and get everything out of one. If you just want two clam shells, then you have your two egg carton cups that you can use. Or even if you decide you don't want to use any shells, although I think you should at least try because I think they're pretty cool at the end. But it is up to you. This is all your creation. I'm just showing you what I'm going to do with it. Speaking of what I'm going to do, I'm now going to cut these out. Okay, so now I have some shells that I am ready to paint and or otherwise decorate. Now in our bag, there are only 2 of our straw pieces. So if we do more than 2 shells, like I have just done, then we are going to need to find some straws or other beads, like a pony bead or something that we can use in our house to finish off our shell necklaces. But we will get to that. First of all, I am going to say that as you're thinking about your finished necklace, you'll see that we are working on our shells and we have the beads, but we are also going to have some shark's teeth or otherwise creature teeth. So keep that in mind as we're kind of making things and getting ready to put our necklace together. So our first step is going to be to take our shells and one of our straw pieces, and we're going to attach the straw piece into the back of the shell. So this is the front of the shell, the outside of the egg carton cup. The back of the shell is going to be the inside, and because we had the bottom of the shell at the bottom of the egg carton cup, there's this nice little hollow here. And that's where we're going to put our glue. And we're going to want to put a goodish amount. You can definitely do this faster if you have like a hot glue gun and someone to help you with the hot glue gun. But using our liquid glue will also work. And we're just going to set that in there. Make sure it's all into the glue. And we're going to set that aside to dry. And then we're going to do the same with any other shells that we made. Okay, while those are drying, let's go ahead and take our foam sheet and let's draw some deep sea creature teeth or shark's teeth. If you want, you can go online and kind of look up pictures. I printed out this handy dandy guide to help me kind of make some realistic looking shark's teeth. But you can do whatever you want. If you want all of your teeth to be from creatures that no one has discovered yet, that's also super awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and do some drawing, and you do some as well. All right. So once you have some drawn, I have a piece that I was using previously. Go ahead and cut them out. All right, so I have 4 teeth here. I've got a couple of bigger ones and then a couple of smaller ones. And I would definitely say don't go much smaller than these because I did test this on this smaller one. And really, since you need to get some holes in this foam without ripping it, you really shouldn't go smaller than this and make it this small only if you're pretty good with making holes or you have someone to help you make the holes. Okay, so now let us see. Okay, I think even though my glue is not quite dry on my shells, I think that it is dry enough that I can decorate the outside without messing anything up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use my paint to decorate my shells and make them look more shell-like. Again, if you have markers or crayons, you can definitely use those. And if you guys were in our summer reading program and colored our Merfolk figurines, then you probably know kind of how different types of coloring materials work on our egg cartons. If not, you can always use the inside to kind of like test how a color or like something like a crayon versus something like a marker will look before you do it on the outside. But I'm going to go ahead and use some paint because I think that's going to give us the best coverage or it's going to cover the surface the most smoothly overall. Also, I'm going to go ahead and use the plastic bag that my craft kit came in as the place where I'm going to put my paint. But make sure that whenever you use paint or anything else messy, that you protect the surface that you're doing it on. And if you're not sure, that you ask the grown-up whose space you are in, where would be the best place to do our crafts. All right, while my shells dry, I'm going to go ahead and put my holes into my teeth and possibly add some a little bit of paint, or you can use like marker or something where I have pencil on here just to make that a little bit more obvious because I think it looks cool. So basically what you want to do, and you might want to get some help with this, is we're going to put 2 holes in the sort of the roots of our teeth. So where the teeth would go into the jaw of your fish or creature, we're going to want to put 2 holes so that we can thread our cord through one hole and through the other, so it'll lay nice and flat when we put on the necklace. So if you have like a sharp pencil, that will work. If you have something else that you can use safely, go ahead and do that, or ask a grown-up or an older, responsible kid to help you. So I'm just gonna kind of go, I'm just gonna poke and poke. Okay, so we got our extra holes there. And I'm just gonna do that to all of my teeth. You want to make sure you're going to put the holes, like especially with these small teeth, you want to put the holes somewhere where it won't rip, because foam can rip if you're not careful, and we are going to be having to put our cord through it. So make sure that it is in a position where there's enough foam around the hole that it's going to be strong enough, okay? Just keep that in mind. All right, so everything should now hopefully be dry. I went ahead and laid out all of my shells and teeth and beads in the order that I want to put them on my necklace. So here is my string. Now some of our cord or ribbon is thicker and some is thinner. In any case, it might help to go ahead and put some tape on the end of your ribbon. So if we take our ribbon here and we put some tape on the end, like really tight. Like this here, that can just make it a little bit stiffer when we are trying to put it through things like our bead or our teeth, and also it's going to make it like a little bit sharper. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my tooth here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it through the front of the tooth. Actually, I think I might want to do it the other way. Hold on. Okay, so we're going to put it through the back of the tooth here and the front here so that the ribbon will go in the front. If you want to do it the other way, it's totally fine. And I'm going to kind of scoot it towards the end. And then I'm just going to go down the line. Here is one of my beads. Some of the beads, they are wooden beads, the ones that came in your kit. So on the inside, they might not be the smoothest. So get some help if you're having some trouble stringing them, because some of them can be a little bit annoying. All right, now here is my first shell. And remember, on the back, we have the straw that is glued in place. I'm going to string my ribbon through that, hopefully. It's a little stuck. All right, we've got that on there. And I'm just going to repeat this all the way through all of my everything. All right, so here is my necklace. Once you're done, you can go ahead and tie it on yourself. And you don't have to use everything from the kit. I have at least one bead left over and an egg cup. So just do whatever you want. And I'm sure it will be amazing. All right, everyone, that brings us to the end of our Merfolks and Myths elementary experiments. I hope everyone had some fun learning about the ocean and different ways that merfolk could possibly live in the ocean without us knowing about them. I hope that you also enjoyed our little foray into interesting beverages and the pH scale. And I also hope that you enjoyed making your sea creature necklace. Remember that for the kit, if you live in the Manchester area and are in the elementary grade range, you can pick up your supplies from the Manchester City Library Children's Room while supplies last. As I mentioned previously, next time is going to be a little bit different because this is the end of our summer reading, actually technically a little bit after the end, because I did want to do Merfolks and Myths with you, even though technically summer reading did end last week. But this is our last elementary experiments for the summer session. So we are going to be starting again in the fall with a little bit of a difference in how we're set up. So we are going to be doing elementary experiments here online with you as usual on the first and third Tuesday of the month, and then on the last Tuesday of the month, whichever that lands on, we are actually going to do an in-person elementary experiments where we do everything that we covered online here in person. So hopefully that will allow everyone who's going back to school to plan for that a little bit better. And we're hoping it makes it easier for everyone who wants to attend in person at the Manchester City Library to attend with us. So for more information on that, be sure to go to our website and please register if you are going to try and come. That way we know just how many supplies to prepare and to make sure we have enough room and crafts for everyone. Okay, I'm going to miss you all until then, but I will say goodbye for now. Bye, everyone.